The only thing better than getting a new subwoofer in for review, this is the KEF KC92 subwoofer, is two subwoofers in for review. Hi everyone, I'm Dippin with CE Critic, and I've got two of the KEF KC92 subwoofers in for review. Now these were sent to me by KEF, so I really appreciate them sending them for me to evaluate, and I'm excited to dive in. In this first video, I'm going to do a quick unboxing of it and get it set up in my room. And then the second video I'll follow up, I'll do a whole overview and my thoughts on having the subwoofers in here. I'm really excited because I have the KEF R400B, which are from, mid 20-teens, about 2012, 2013 in my setup. And I'm really excited to get these in because these are just a natural progression. They're about the same size, but the specs are completely different. My R400B had the same 9-inch woofers that were force canceling, but they were 500 watts total, 250 to each woofer there. And at the same time, they only went down to about 26 hertz. These, however, have 1,000 watts to them, 500 watts per driver, and these get down all the way to 11 hertz. So I'm really excited to get them in my setup. The other thing I'm going to be doing in my review is I'm going to be stacking them. Now, we talk a lot about subwoofers and their setups. It's always better to have multiple subwoofers in a room if you can do it, but they are harder to set up. And what that means is when you have two subwoofers, it can really even out the bass response in the room, and you lose some of that localization, which is what most people are looking for. However, to get them balanced in the room, making sure there's no nulls in the sitting area, especially if you get a larger home theater, requires a lot of work and effort, and sometimes it might be a little bit too advanced for a beginner. However, what these KEFs allow you to do is not only have the two subwoofers in different locations in the room, you can actually stack them. Stacking subwoofers is a really great way to get more bass in the room, especially if you only have one spot where you can fit them in the room. This means you've already run the subwoofer cable, or your receiver only has one subwoofer out. Mine, Marantz, actually has two subwoofers out. That's why I'm able to run two of these subs. So that's why I'm going to stack them here to show you guys how you can set them up in your room if you've got only one subwoofer out on your receiver and you still want to get more bass in your room. So let's start to open these guys up and let's get them set up. KEF can actually make the system wireless. They have their own adapter here that you plug into here. They have a USB for service. They have a system button over here that the lights kind of tell you the status that it's in. And then they also have a 12-volt trigger. This is actually really exciting because there's different ways the sub can automatically turn on. And one of them is a 12-volt trigger, which means when your system turns on, there'll be a 12-volt trigger output on that you can connect to the subwoofer, and the subwoofers will automatically turn on. Or you can set it, I'm jumping up ahead down here, to where you can say automatically turn on when it receives the signal. That's how I'm going to have it in my setup, just because I don't have a cable long enough to run the 12 volt on it right now. Then you have your crossover points. If you're going to put this in the home theater mode, you just need to put it on the LFE mode and do all the crossovers inside of your receiver. Then here you have your volume knob. This you're going to set up while you're doing your calibration and setting the crossovers inside of your receiver or processor. Then you have your phase down here. Then there's some interesting EQs on the back of the subwoofers. You can set it to room, wall, corner, cabinet, and apartment. Each one of these EQs is its own DSP Depending on your needs, you can adjust it right on the back of the subwoofer. Next, you have the auto on, whether it's a 12-volt trigger like I mentioned before, or it could be auto turned on based off of the signal coming from the receiver, and you can keep it as always on, which I do not recommend. And finally, you have the ground lift. It can be on or off. So typically you want to set that to off. So on the bottom here, you have your speaker inputs, you have your line in, you have your line out, you also have a high pass filter, and then the power button on the bottom. Thanks for watching, everyone. Now that we have the subwoofers unboxed, I'm going to start setting them up in my system, going through my receiver settings and making sure they are optimized for my room. If you like this video, don't forget to click subscribe, like it, and share. And in the next one, I'm going to give you guys a whole overview of my thoughts on spending time with these subwoofers.